Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. And I have with me... should I call you Barrister? I'd prefer to call you... Let me just call you Olumide. Now, all of you listen to Olumide every Saturday. Olumide Omoshimi. Listen to him every Saturday. And last Saturday, I stumbled on the discussion that he had, and I asked him a question concerning the difference between divorce and separation. I'm one of those who believe that if something is not working, just leave it. If you patch it up to a point, leave it. But in doing so, I believe that it is very, very important that you know the implications of every step that you take. Every step that you take before you run into a problem. Okay? So, Olumide is here. Olumide morning. By the way, Olumide is a lawyer, but is a strong anti-domestic violence advocate, of which I'm also one, but he has gone a step further. He has an NGO called Gnosis. Is that what it's called?
Gnosis.
Gnosis. What is the G there now?
Yeah, the G is silent.
If it's silent, why put it?
It's not me, it's Latin.
Oh God. But I did. Everybody at home, let me be very honest with you. I did Latin in school, MBHS in those days. I did Latin from 1 to, I think, from 2 or so. We had one teacher called Papa Okon. Papa Okon, both of us would get 0. Even Shesonku, your Papa, Philip, your Papa, he too, none of us would get. So when Papa Okon puts the 0, I just didn't like Latin at all. When he puts the 0, in case you want to go and put like 40 behind it or in front of it or so, Papa Okon will draw the ears and the nose of the 0. By the way, today is the birthday of a very good person that I came across in my business life, somewhere along the line. We are not close. I don't know his house. He doesn't know mine. In fact, I had to ask David Harper for his phone number, but it's somebody that a lot of people in my generation in business world respect. His name is Akin Okpeudu. And he's 70 today. I've been trying him on the phone all morning. I can't get him. But I want to use this opportunity to wish Akin Okpeudu a happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday. Next week is that of my classmate, Bola Oyeyinka. He will also be. All of them are coming 70, but it's not yet time for me yet. I still have 1 or 2 more years to get to that point. But Agbashoro, even this morning, getting up, she was even asking me that, are you okay? When he was asking me this morning, he said this, you guys are okay. All right, so let's get down to the business, Olumide. Let's assume that the marriage has gone sour. Sour depends on the individual, but let's assume that you've gotten to the point of no return. How do you advise? You separate by doing what? Do you pack out, or do you insist that the man packs out, or what? Let's start from there.
Okay, thank you, first of all, Uncle Jimmy, for calling me. It's an honor to be on your program. Straight to the matter then. When a marriage has broken down, legally they call it irretrievably. It has broken down irretrievably. That is, nothing can be done again. Either on grounds of abuse or violence, or they are just no longer compatible. The first step is separation.
Okay.
Separation is when you cease from cohabiting. You can't be separated from somebody that you live in the same house with. By the time both of you are living in the same house, it is assumed that you are still intimate.
Yes.
So you can't say you are separated and living in the same room. You can't say you are separated, you are still living in the same house. You have to leave the house.
Can I ask a dumb question? What if in the house you're living in separate rooms? You have cases like that for years. They don't even talk to each other. Everybody, in fact, one goes out to the backyard, the other one comes into the front of the house.
Yes.
That is not separation.
It is not separation, because if you come to a courtroom, I can say, oh, well, we were still intimate yesterday. There is no way for you to prove that, because we still live in, in the court, you hear people say all kinds of things, lies, truth. So when you are in the same house, you jeopardize your case, because the other party might just want to punish you. and say, went to intimate yesterday, went to in my room yesterday. Because, but when you live separately, there is no way that can come in.
Okay, the question that I asked on Saturday that led to this is, do you have to document your separation so that, again, in court it doesn't become an argument? Where, for example, if you want to do the 3-year thingy that doesn't need just 3-year separation, she might say, no, we've not been. So do you have to document to prove that you are separated?
There are two kinds of, there are to me or for me. The law says there's something we call judicial separation. That is where you get a lawyer who petitions the court, informing them of your decision, the reasons for your decisions for separation. Then there's the actual, especially when you are in danger. Maybe the person is a violent person. You know, there are times, there was a time we had to take someone from Lagos and go and hide her in Abeokuta. About a month and a half ago, a gentleman, murdered his wife by setting her ablaze. She had moved out. He went to look for where she was, and while, as a Muslim, while she knelt down and was praying, he poured kerosene and set her ablaze right there, because he had been saying that you cannot, it is death that would do us. All those threats.
Yes.
For the safety of the person, you go to a place for your security. In that place, I always tell them that you make a detailed text message informing the family that for so and so reason. Now that serves as an actual notice because of your safety. Then there's the judicial separation, which you get a lawyer to also inform the court and of your reasons for leaving, and then the court grants you leave. You can also do this while being absent. Your lawyer can do all that for you. You don't have to come. So those are the two kinds of
okay, do you advise that because people fail to do this, you want to rent a house, you want to buy land, you want to buy a house, and you think you can go through it yourself, you don't go get a lawyer. Would you advise, especially for those who are married under the Marriage Act, in the registry and so on and so forth, would you advise that they first have a discussion with the lawyer before they take that initial step?
To buy a property?
No. I just said that people. I was talking about people to hire to get services of a lawyer. We're talking of separation. That is it advisable that you talk to your lawyer first before you set out
Yes, there are bodies, there are professional bodies, like you have the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency in Alausa, you have the Ministry of Justice, you have the Office of the Public Defender, you have Women Affairs, you have professionals there that would advise you so you don't do anything wrong, and it is free, like my organization. There was a time a lady was leaving, I said, do a video as you are leaving. You understand? Because we know somebody will come and say, well, you took this, they had 10 million naira in the room, they can't, lots of, then if the person is violent, people often come out from a violent marriage or relationship with no proof. The court will not, you can't just come and talk. You have to at least, either someone was there or a picture, or so you need these kinds of advices. When you are bruised, better take a picture.
I'd always said that it's important that you think things through. Either if you leave or if the guy has left, or the other way around. I've always placed a premium on that. So you advise that you talk to your lawyer. Talk to a professional.
I think you should talk to a professional, because lots of lawyers, there's this religious thing in Nigeria, cultural thing in Nigeria that, people would still tell you, you know what, just go back to this, just go back to that. And Uncle Jimmy, between January and March this year, we had buried 64 women lost to domestic violence and abuse.
No. Where?
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria or in Lagos?
Here.
64 women.
64 women.
Oh my.
For us in Achi was 65. You understand?
Wow.
And I was one of the lawyers in that matter. The issue where you need to go for professional help, where people are not tainted by culture, custom, or religion that would be telling you, just pray, just
persevere,
just pray. Let me share a short story. 4 years ago with you, a lady came to my office. She tall and fair, and dark glasses on, So, so as we were talking, I wasn't comfortable with the dark glasses inside the office, so. I had to say, Madam, do you mind taking off your glasses? We're talking, and and she was a bit reluctant, but when she took it off, her eyes were bloodshot. Her eyes, and it was as if the focus of everything was those eyes, because if you're punching somebody, at least you see bruises on the side, but it was just the eyes. And I looked, I said, one was already bloodshot. I said, what happened? He said, this is part of what I'm coming. And, I told her, I said, Madam, you have to leave. She eventually, now showed me other things. For a fair-skinned person, you see it's very obvious. I said, no, you have to leave, or else you would. And she agreed. I even helped her set a time, a place where the man would have gone to work, and then you would. So 2 days to the agreed date, I was a bit apprehensive. Day before then, on the actual date, no call from her yet. I was like, what is going on? Then in the evening, I now called her, Madam. I said, sorry that I wanted to inform you. See, I went and I met this man of God. He said that we would do a 2-week fast, no salt, no oil, no, there's this special white fast or something that there's no oil, no pepper, that he would do it for 2 weeks, and the man would change. I said, what? He said that I shouldn't worry, that he's a really strong man. I said, no problem. I was so upset, I just couldn't talk. They said 2 weeks. 2 weeks is 7 plus 7, 14 days.
Yes.
On the 8th day, the man flared up and started. She ran to the balcony and closed the sliding glass. The man broke through the window of the balcony and pushed her from a 4-story building. She landed on the fence, breaking her spine.
Wow.
And she did not die, though. She just could not move her hands, her legs, her neck. The only thing she could move was her neck. You understand? And she couldn't even control. She was on a wheelchair. The man ran. Now he's abroad and posted, he's married. The lady, after about 6 to 7 months, we couldn't hear from her anymore, because who would be she just ended. She was paralyzed totally. She couldn't even control her bowels. So when the mother I said, you need to go and look for the pastor that told her that you don't come to me. I gave you the advice, but you were going spiritual on a normal matter. It is a character of it. It's not a marital problem. It is a person's character problem. So when you go and meet these people that use religion, that use culture, in our culture, in our lineage, nobody has left, but have anybody in your lineage married this kind of person? That you now put someone in bondage to an abuser, or, it's just... So when you're going for advice, it's not just any lawyer. Go for professionals.
Yeah, you have that. You do even have judges who have been tossed around because they try to be more pastors and whatever, preachers and dispensation of justice according to the laws. But I think there is enough. We need to thank Lagos State government so much for what they have done. I would never tire of saying that. Vadeniji and her people, and it dates back. These are some of the achievements, for example, that people need to highlight that happened under Tinubu, because he was the one who set up that with the Chibajo, set it up back then. But don't let me delve into politics. But we need to thank him for that. So I ask my people, take advantage of these things that are there. Only God knows how many lives, but this figure you gave me is frightening with all these things.
Jimmy.
Yes.
May 2019.
Yes.
To August 2021.
Yes.
Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency recorded 10,007 cases of domestic violence and abuse. And we have 365 days. So if you divide 10,007 by 365, you would have up to 27. So the moment, as we are talking now,
one's probably going on.
One has already happened before the close of this.
And you know that in the area of percentages, those reported are probably a quarter of what really happened.
In fact, those reported don't even measure up to the actual. You know how many unreported cases there are?
Mm-hmm.
How many unreported? When you see Alimosho local government, Ajegunle, they have the highest rates of spousal killings, spousal abuse.
Wow.
Yes. That place is go to any hospital there, any day of the week. Just go to any hospital in that place and tell me they won't wheel out a corpse of someone whose wife or husband
is either remotely or directly responsible.
But you know, we just need to sensitize. Was last year a man beating the wife. The wife will run. People would say go back. So the day it was even in the afternoon. Everybody in the compound had seen this woman naked because of the aggression of the man would strip her naked. So the woman ran, and the man couldn't catch up. So he looked around. What could he throw? He saw a cutlass, and he threw. The cutlass went straight into the lady's leg and stayed there. It was in her leg. She made 4 or 5 paces, but she fell to the ground, and in broad daylight. We took the case, she went to the hospital. It was removed, she was. And during the court case, she came and then changed her testimony that as she fell.
What?
That, it was, that it was a fight between her and her husband that made her say that. But actually, she just changed her testimony. She changed the statement right there. Do you understand?
Yes.
The man, of course, had to be released. They went back home because family had intervened. Don't send our
in-law
to the hospital. So angrily, I left, and then I just now have things about. I've been a Christian. I've been born again since I was 9 years old. Do you understand? I've grown in the church. I am
since you were 9.
Since I was 9.
So as I'm looking at you now, you've never had a drink. You've never smoked.
No, I don't. I have not smoked. I take red wine.
Wait,
when you say
alcoholic,
of course, red wine is there anything like non-alcoholic wine? Wine by definition is fermented grape.
You don't correct before. Correct.
No.
Okay, so since you were 9, obviously you never had any. You couldn't have had a girlfriend before even after you got to university until you were about to get married.
How did you know?
I'm asking that.
I'm telling you now.
I got to school. I went to school with SU. Nowadays it was SU.
I wasn't SU. When you say SU,
but
there's another level. There's another level to.
Did you not hear him?
Yes, I understand him.
You understand him? I don't understand.
So,
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Now the closing of that case was that now, because of that, her legs started to now.
I can really well understand.
Deteriorate. Then the man now said, he can't marry somebody with one bad leg.
Yes.
And then, just in the same house brought another woman. So this woman now of the leg started running.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. We're going to take a very short break, and then we'll be right back.
I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those that need to be fired, get fired. It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not a
The vast majority of men and women of the police force are hardworking and diligent in performing their duties.
Policies and its makers.
I have been crying out. What is there in our time now is that the cost of government is too much.
Community and the dwellers.
Stop playing the ostrich. I came here now and the officers are saying I cannot exercise my right.
We bring them all to you. The news on Nigeria Info. Top of the hour, every hour. Nigeria Info News. Let's talk.
For 6 years, 8 months.
Were you going to court from prisons then?
Yes, but before I started court, it took me 2 years.
Just being in prison?
Yes.
Without your case even started at all?
Confinement.
You were there?
Yeah.
Here on your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Hi, son. How are you and my daughter-in-law?
We're good. Thanks, Dad. There's something I've been willing to talk to you about.
Okay, I'm listening.
Rose and I are relocating back to Nigeria, and we're looking to get a home somewhere safe to start our family.
My son, Leisure Court Limited has exactly what you need.
Really?
I'm telling you. And their newest estate, King's Court, located at Orchard Road, is a nice place to start a family. The estate comes with swimming pool, children's play area, 24/7 electricity, and security. With just 75 million naira, you can get a 4-bedroom terrace plus a BQ in a premium location.
Dad, are you for real?
They even have a convenient payment plan. 30% initial deposit, 20% after 6 months, and another 20% after 6 months, and then 30% on completion. You are assured a home, just like me.
How do I reach out?
You can call them on 081-1111-3267 or 091-5458-7122 or visit them at 3B Onikepo Akonde Street off Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Leisure Court, excellent housing solution.
Guy, I'm in front of your house.
Guy! What is this I'm looking at?
How fun.
Last. Now you this changer at the pillow. Wait, wasn't it 2 days ago that you bashed your car? And now you're driving another one?
Oh boy, now blessings on blessings on blessings.
Hey! You just upgraded like that.
Guy, I beg be quiet. Is that how people buy cars? It's the car my insurance company, AXA Mansa, gave me while my car is getting fixed.
It's a lie. AXA Mansa gave you makeshift car.
Yeah.
The same company that took your car to Better Auto Shop all within 24 hours? Guy, why you no show me the way? Before my insurance company make me pack car. For 3 months, they jump bus round Lagos.
AXA Mentored Moto Insurance is the one-time insurance feels like an upgrade and leaves you wanting to say thank you for what you truly deserve. Visit www.axamentor.com or call 0700 AXA Mentor today. AXA Mentor.
What gave you the audacity? I say, what gave you the temerity?
Oga contractor, why all this big grammar today?
No mind this site manager. I tell him, say from now on, he must to wait for me to come open all the Lafarge cement bags before them begin work. Him not the year work.
Oga, you sef want up better inside the Lafarge win better season 1 promo.
See you. Who not like better thing?
Yes, so Lafarge win better season 1 promo don't land from now till October 2022. When you buy Lafarge cement, check inside the bag for your scratch card. Scratch am, anything you see, now your luck be that. If you see recharge card, top up your airtime instanta. But if you see tear rubber car, keke, TV, generator, industrial fan, DSTV, Go TV, bag of rice, and other better things, call the number on top your scratch card. We go deliver your gift to you sharply. Oh yeah, call your retailer, begin buy Lafarge cement, make you the win the go. See posters for more tori. Terms and conditions apply, sha.
Lafarge, building progress for people and for we planet.
Do you find yourself working like an elephant and getting paid like an ant? Do you need funds to expand your business or start a new one? Are you worried about the massive loss of jobs and unsure of what your future will look like without one? Then, the Project 5000 is just for you. The goal is to raise 5,000 financially empowered individuals in the next 2 years through our structured mentorship, various business platforms, and global partners. The first 50 persons that will indicate by sending yes and name to
0816 672 4137.
stand a chance to be selected among the 5,000. We will work with the selected individuals and help them change their financial stories. Send yes and your name now to
0816 672 4137.
and watch your life turn around. Project 5000, raising next generation millionaires.
Rolling in 2, lights, camera, sound, action. It's here. MTN 5G, it's here. The MTN wonder. The wonder of art. No. This is how your line is supposed to go.
The wonder of MTN 5G has arrived, and it's time for you to be a part of it. All you have to do is pre-order your own 5G router for 50,000 naira only. Visit www.mtn.ng/5G-router. Follow the instructions there and start your 5G life right now.
Are you planning to get an impactful education in accounting, management, arts, or social sciences? Look no further than Nile University, Nigeria, Abuja. With our free ACCA training to complement our robust accounting curriculum and the inclusion of a financial literacy program in the management, arts, and social sciences curricula, we equip students with the crucial financial knowledge to succeed in the world of work and entrepreneurship. To apply, visit nileuniversity.edu.ng. For inquiries, contact 0903 6326 881.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. We report, you decide. Topical conversations that matter to you.
There are people for personal, religious, whatever reasons who do not want to take a vaccine. And I think they have the rights.
They cannot go to stop insecurity. Is to force people to take vaccine. Let them come and kill me. I can never take it.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is Daily Digest with Jimi Disu.
Welcome back to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, and I have Mr. Moshebi here, who is a lawyer and also an anti-domestic violence advocate. Olumide Moshebi, and we're having quite a rollicking time. Okay, Olumide, let's get down to business. Okay, what are the rights of any person in a separated situation? Let me explain what I mean. If a man is separated from his wife, and the wife in the process is dating somebody else, maybe she's decided to move on, she hasn't gotten the divorce yet, but she's dating the person. Does the original wife or husband have any claim on that woman?
No, not at all.
He can't like beat you up for being with his wife.
When they are separated, separation is just Nigerian law that you must first be separated for a period of time, 2 years. But there are some cases where you really don't need to separate for that long. For example, cases of adultery, cases of that, you don't need those 2 years. But while you are waiting for those 2 years, you can move on. The only thing is you cannot remarry.
Under the Act?
Under the
Act. Or under the circumstance?
Even traditionally.
You can't.
Because it is traditional marriage is still a valid marriage according to the law recognizes it.
Somebody said I should ask you a question that if you're married in the registry under the Marriage Act, and can you marry another person under native law, or can you do an engagement?
No.
Carry schnapps and everything to the family.
No.
Okay, what happens if you impregnate another woman and you're married under the Act? If you put another woman in the family
yes,
way.
That is, if you did that before, while you were getting married to another woman, you had already put another woman probably privily, it could make your marriage void or voidable.
No, if you have been married, you have children.
But if you have been married and then
a stray bullet,
then a stray bullet.
A stray bullet, yes, yes.
It is called adultery. Now,
Ah.
it is either the woman, your wife, raises it up or decides to forgive you.
If she raises it up under the law, what can she do?
Oh, she can. It's a ground for divorce. And the same thing where...
Isn't it a criminal offense?
No, it is not a criminal offense. It's a civil matter. It's between husband and wife.
Okay, so it's when you marry another person and you're still married under the act.
Yes, it's called bigamy.
Bigamy.
Yes.
Oh, so that's what bigamy is.
Yes, you can't marry two women at the same time.
But you can have children outside the marriage. If you're still married under the act.
Yes.
It's not a criminal offense.
Lots of people. You must have seen the man who came out after discovering that his 5 children were not his.
Oh, yes.
So some continue. I've seen one that said, well, I have been doing this job, I could as well, some
I'll
continue,
do the same. I'll do the same.
Then some are like, no. And then it becomes a ground for divorce.
Well, I think in that case, because I've heard people have an argument about things like that, is what you can handle.
Yeah.
But for me, there is something called, what do I normally call it? Oh, I will remember something of constant reminders that if your wife, you just suddenly discover that 1 or 2 of your children are not yours, and the child is still around, every time you see that child, doesn't it remind you about what the wife has done? Doesn't it make it a bit more difficult for you to forget?
You said it all. What you can handle.
What you can handle.
Some people, some people can handle, some cannot handle. In fact, some could kill themselves because of that.
I've seen men, just the fact that they said his wife went to an hotel new.
Yes. So
she hasn't entered for what in his stroke, what he could down.
Yes. So
weeping profusely.
Yes. You've seen a man jump over the fence of a hotel because it was like 1 a.m. The hotel had shut the
Philip,
gate.
Take that mic there. I want to ask you a question. Sit down. Take that mic. You are not married yet. Let me just try and play this out. Take this mic. Yes. Okay, Philip. One day you will get married. The Lord will do it. Say amen.
Amen.
Amen. So thank the Lord for what I just said. It's a prayer. It's not easy.
Amen.
I have a prophetic mouth.
Amen.
Now, this is just an exercise. It will not happen to you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Say amen.
Amen.
Supposing after you've been married for 10 years, you catch your wife red-handed new, what will you do?
I've learned from you.
No, I didn't catch.
No, what I'm saying that you've given me some certain tips. Just move on.
Move on how?
You can't
kill
handle
yourself
it.
now. You can't kill yourself.
You can't handle it.
That I can't handle it. I won't start.
When you say move on, what will you do? Will you still keep the woman or what?
First of all, I would like to know how they got there.
What do you want to do with this? You have not learned from me.
They will tell you that. Okay, it started with a text message. Then from text message.
For me, I'll just forgive her.
And move on.
I'll move on.
Move on with the marriage.
No.
What?
I'll move on.
You are speaking like Uncle
No.
Jimmy now.
What do you see this feeling like? What did I
What is move on?
I'll move on from the marriage.
You will leave the marriage.
You will leave the marriage.
Yes. Because
for another woman.
The trust have already been broken.
Okay, but wait. When you leave the marriage for another woman, is another woman where you yourself get on standby?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, you can go back behind the pillar. No, but I think in all honesty, some men can't contemplate it. They can't handle it.
I had a barber, sir. I
yes.
had a barber. His name was Kayode.
Yes, Kayode.
He
is it Kayode Mogaji?
No.
Oh, okay.
Kayode. He used to cut my hair like 4 years ago.
Yes.
He married a very young girl. He was also young, and caught her with a gentleman. He went and just drank sniper and died.
He killed himself?
He killed himself. I just went to Barb. Where's Coyote? Everybody was looking at me like, you didn't know. I said, no, what?
That thing can pain.
Like, what happened? He drank sniper.
He
Why?
drank sniper.
He saw the wife would. So,
Yeah, it should have come to learn from.
So people.
A woman, what?
moves on with the
Who
mic.
puts on the mic? Let's hear you.
I'm like,
You say what?
but if it's a woman that
Yeah.
gets cheated on by her partner like that, society feels like it's a normal thing and she should continue.
But some women,
will kill themselves.
Some
Will
women
kill
also.
themselves.
Some
Yes.
women haven't even seen 1/10 of that. It's what it's been coming.
A woman,
It's the
a
same.
lawyer,
Yes.
about 4 years ago,
Yes.
killed her husband, chopping off his private part in a similar matter. So people are just different.
It's different.
Everybody.
There's no gender issue in this thing. There's no gender balance.
There's no.
It depends
it's
on each individual.
It is a human problem, not a gender problem.
I think it's always. I'm glad you said you learned from me. When you have these situations, it's always best that you just move on. Now, I wanted to ask you. In divorce, what I'm told is, and I'd just like you to confirm or correct, 2 years you need the consent of the two parties. 3 years you don't need the consent of anybody.
Yes.
Do you recommend people wait for those 3 years? Some people are in a hurry. As soon as they separate, they head for the courts.
What I think that the Marriage Act should be should be
Revised.
revised. I think that some things there empower and embolden the abuser against the victim. If I am not doing, I'm an adult. If I say I don't want,
I'm not doing again. I'm not doing again.
You can't impose a spouse on me or give me a certain number of years that my life should be on hold. I can't move forward. I can't move backward. I am not doing. I think it should be revised. Here, you cannot initiate a divorce unless your marriage has been 2 years. I got a call yesterday from someone whose marriage was 1 month, 3 weeks. It was just going to be 4 weeks, and when I thought she was making a mistake, and she said no, 3 weeks. I said 3 months. She said 3 weeks. What happened? Well, her husband had been someone who said he did not like sex, so he hardly touched her. And she was always, it was always an argument for intimacy. But then, going through his phone one day, now saw that he had strings of that it was every day. So she screenshot everything and sent to her phone. If you see the kind of, and then you won't touch me, your wife at home, and you have 4.
I've seen cases where it turns out that the guy was a homosexual.
So those kinds of issues, the lady said,
Does the court take cognizance of things like that?
Oh yes.
So they can give you a quick one.
Yes. There are some void marriages, some voidable marriages. Like you marry someone, you find out that the person is impotent, or the person has a mental disorder, or the person has an imbalanced mind, or you now find out that the person is your cousin.
If it's your cousin,
there are some varying degrees of you find out that you married.
Oh, Lord Lenny, did you go home?
The way we are displaced now.
I know.
A man marries this woman, or gets pregnant for this one, and then she leaves the country, and then the child travels out, and then meets this person, not knowing that they have the same father, because the woman left.
But if they've already had a child, what do you do?
So those are
okay. Look, our lines are full. I'm sure our people have loads of questions. I've seen a demand here that they want a round 2. People want this round 2. Let's see how far we'll go.
People don't know how it is sitting with Uncle Jimmy.
Let's see how far we'll go, and then we'll know whether we'll have a second round. But let's finish this one first. Let's pick that first call. 0700 993 993 993 465 7190. And the what's it called now? The no WhatsApp. The Skype is for those who are not in Nigeria, please. Kikiri has decreed that. Okay, so let's take our first caller of the day. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir. Who's calling?
The person was not Kayode Mortgage, Uncle Jimmy.
It was an innocent.
Immediately I heard Kayode, I knew you were going to mention Kayode.
No, I just wanted to be clear now. I mean, because I was wondering that I never knew you to be a Baba. I knew you to be an APC.
Good morning, sir.
APC member.
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
3 years ago, I went to train as a gender-based violence advocate.
Yes.
For persons with disability.
Okay.
So for each violence you hear, each percentage you hear happens to people without that disability. Over 7 times that number happens to persons with disability because of their vulnerability.
Yes.
So it's so sad when we hear things like this, and when we hear people like the great person in the studio that go out and defend. I think I want to beg them, especially persons around this, to try to do pro bono for persons with disability. Because usually the biggest problem is finance, and you become more vulnerable. In fact, the finance really is the disability. The other ones about your physical, your sight, and everything is just a social construct. So please, yes, Uncle Jimmy, disability is not seeing or not hearing. It's the environment not being the limitations the environment creates for you in your situation.
Wow.
Yes, that's what disability is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kayode, not the Baba. That's your new name now. Kayode, not the Baba.
You know, he said something about pro bono.
Pro bono, yes.
I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and I have not collected a dime from anyone that we took to.
How do you live? But you're a lawyer now.
I don't. That's all I have been doing for.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's all.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I thought it was a joke. I mean,
no, seriously.
You do these cases pro bono?
I have never collected in 20 years a kobo.
How do you buy petrol in your car? How do you live?
It's God's grace.
Okay, so it must be that you get some financing anyway.
Well,
and support.
I think I was still talking. I don't know whether it was my wife. I was asking how do we even, because you know at the end of the month you can't say this is what you are going to, salary or anything. You know. So we do it. Maybe on some little things.
You must be doing some other things.
Some little things here and there.
Maybe you have a restaurant somewhere.
No. Thank God, my dad left me a house, so a little rent might come from there.
It was a little rent, Leko.
Yeah, no.
There's no little. There's no little.
But that you're making money. No, at times, when some people hear what I do, they might just say, let me support your
ministry.
Especially when you come on Saturdays. I'm here every Saturday morning, 7 a.m.
You'll be here tomorrow.
Yes,
I know.
I'll be here tomorrow.
With Onye. Onye told me that the hair she's spotting now and her skin, everything is follow common.
Yes, someone said you should send the name of her cream.
Of her cream
on air.
On air. He says it's follow common. When I heard that, I cracked up. Okay, hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. I'm hearing some cracking, please. Hello? Okay, let's pick another one. Hello, good morning.
Hey, I greet you.
Hey, Calvin, how are you? Somebody has said you should stop saying hey. You should say your name. My name is Calvin.
You don't know how far. He doesn't come from Germany or from Moscow.
No, Johnny just dropped. No worry.
He don't know plenty. I listen to you. You do a good
He listens
job.
to you on Saturdays.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy, my worry is this. First of all, let me join you in thanking the Lagos State government for this sexual domestic violence thing.
Yes.
Fantastic job they are doing.
Yes.
And I want to encourage them to do more. They can do more, I believe so, with the right things in place. The issue of rape, I'm very worried about it. I'm tired of reading the metro news when I see 70 years old, 60 years old, 14 years old, or whatever, raping innocent children. And I said that they should be castrated. I have no apologies for it. That is my major worry now. Rape of our young children. People are raped every time. I don't know where they came out from. It seems to me that they were locked up somewhere. All of a sudden, they just released them. And who will let these people out wherever they were released from? Every day, these issues. Sometimes I'm scared of reading the metro news because that's what you will see there. So, the Lagos State government, this issue of domestic and sexual violence, please, now on this, and I keep saying it, I will not change it. Rape, issue of castration is what I recommend for all of them. Thank you.
Okay. He's worried about rape.
Let me say something there, sir. Abusers are not born, they were raised. You will find out that this is what happens. When I tell you to leave an abusive marriage, it's not because of you, it's because of your children. There's a Yoruba proverb that says, "Ewe to back pelara oshe." When you raise children in abuse, they grow up to become abusive. We had a case in Takwa Bay where he was 19 years old. I work with the gender unit of the state CID in Kwanti. So this guy was brought for raping an 11-year-old whose mother sent to cell. He called her inside. It happened in Takwa Bay. So, called her inside. And, so when this girl came out, she couldn't walk. So the mother was still shouting that, "Where have you been?" Because the mother was waiting, not knowing. So anyway, let me fast forward. When they got to, the case was transferred to Kwanti, and I saw this young boy handcuffed, and I was like, "What happened?" They said he molested a child. When the mother was called, when she got there, she started rolling on the floor and said, "See, that now why I come out from mainland because of the father. This was what the father was doing. I left him and I took my boy to Takwa Bay. The papa spirits follow him, enter Takwa Bay. Don't they do it in papa they do."
Wow.
So you see, when you go to the World Health Organization's page on domestic violence and abuse, the first thing they would tell you is that research conclusively has proven that a man who is domestically violent are usually men who have seen their own mothers beaten by their fathers, an intimate partner, or a family member.
Is it hereditary? Is it in the genes?
No, it is in the raising. Where you see, in other countries where there's domestic violence and abuse, the first thing they do is to remove the children.
The children, yes.
Because the children are the primary victims of domestic violence and abuse. You chose this man that is beating you up. The children did not. You brought the children here. And do you know the trauma on a child every morning? Slapping the father, or the father slapping the mother, beating, stripping naked.
Kufuni Bakan.
And you grow up thinking that is normal.
Yeah.
So abuse is generational. It is not even, you were not born abusive, you were raised abusive.
I think that also has to do with verbal violence too.
Yes.
Verbal violence can be just as bad.
Abuse is not even...
Verbal abuse, I mean, sorry.
Yes, abuse is not... there are 6 kinds of abuse. The beating is the small one. There is the emotional abuse, which are those words said.
Well, wait. I want us to take them carefully one by one. There's emotional abuse.
Psychological abuse.
What's the difference between psychological and emotional?
Okay. Emotional abuse are, those words undermining your sense of self-worth when you take yourself. Or denial, you can't even, this foolish, all that.
See, you only brought money home to buy more.
Yeah.
Your mates are eating fresh fish.
That is emotional abuse. Those ones, the scars that are in your heart that nobody can heal. That one is even worse than the physical abuse that heals.
So emotional,
psychological. From the word psycho, that abuse.
How does that manifest?
Intimidation. You intimidate your spouse, threatening physical harm. All that one that the woman or the man will be running.
Helter skelter.
Then the
third one.
There's the financial abuse, where you tell your spouse to stop work. Then you make. There was a case where the girl had first class. But because you marry a jealous person who cannot stand you making more money than they, next thing you just say, you need to stay home and take care of the child. You are coming back too late. But people don't even know that is a crime in the Constitution. You cannot disenfranchise.
The fourth one.
The fourth one is now physical abuse. That is the beating.
The fifth one,
sexual abuse.
Denial.
No, sexual abuse where you force someone into sexual acts. You have people that choke their spouses.
What about denial?
Denial is not abuse. Denial is denial.
But it could become abuse every time, she makes an attempt and...
If I deny you sex, it is a grounds for divorce. The Constitution recognizes there is no violence there. I just said, mioshe.
Okay, and the sixth one?
Is cultural abuse.
You know what we are going to do? Are you in agreement that we continue next Friday?
Okay.
Yeah, so next Friday we'll look at all these 6 levels of abuse and break them down, and we'll be able to take questions because I got to go. Time, you run this thing, so you know that time is not our best whatever. But before I want to go, I want to give somebody a bonus if you can speak within 1 minute. Do I have a minute? Okay, if you can speak within 1 minute. Don't glitch, don't do anything. Just make your point. Sharp. Hello? Oh, boy, it's slow now. Hello. Let's take another one. 1 minute. No, we lost it. Okay, don't worry, Feta. Okay. Olubide, thank you very much. Next week, Friday, we'll look at we'll break down these abuses and what best you can do, to avoid them if possible. It's been nice talking to Olumide Omashibi.
Thank you.
You can catch him tomorrow at 7:00 in the morning. Set your alarm. What are you talking about tomorrow? Let me do a quick promo for you.
Silence.
This station.
The
Silence.
Conspiracy
of silence. Okay, he'll talk about conspiracy of silence tomorrow, 7:00. Don't miss it. I don't miss it myself. I like listening to it whilst I'm getting ready for my program at 9:00.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you very much for coming.
Thank
Feta.
you very much.
I also like to thank my guest, Philip, who gave me the credit for all that he said. He's on his own. Just for the record, he's on his own. He's on his own. I'll be back tomorrow. I have an 18-year-old who can now vote. What is going on through her mind? Tune in tomorrow at 9:00. I'll see you then.
Information at its peak.